everyone, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the sister video of the opening tracks with the closing tracks. Now, before we get into the list, I want to talk about closing tracks, and I want to give you an example of a good closing track and a bad closing track. So we'll start with the bad one. Both these songs are not on the list. Elliot Summer's Information. This is an amazing album, and I recommend you pick it up if you've never listened to it. Give this a listen because it's really, really good. But the point is, Species, that closes the album. It's just all the other songs on it's probably the worst song on the album, to be honest with you. You know, there's so many other good songs on here, and you could pick any of the other ones that would fit perfectly on the end of the album. It doesn't really make sense. It leaves more questions than answers, and it leaves you feeling a bit hollow. Like, is that it? Is that the end of the album? You know, where's the conclusion? I need more than this. You know, it's not that great. So, but a good closing track. Now, again, this is not on the album, but it was not on the list. But it was so close. This artist has another song on the list. It was between the two songs. So an example of a good closing track is Sometimes It Snows in April by Prince, you know. And in terms of tying up your album in a nice little bow and giving your album a conclusion, oh my good God, about the song is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and it works so well. Like, I couldn't put Sometimes It Snows in April anywhere else on the album. It is a closing track through and through, and it really just makes the album that bit extra special. So with that in mind, I have my top 5 favourite ones here. At number 5, we have Green Day with What's Her Name from the American Idiot album. Now, what makes this so great is the American Idiot album follows the story of St. Jimmy, who is struggling with drug addiction and problems at home with his parents, and, you know, and he's struggling with love. The whole album is full of themes of love and loss, and at this point in the album, the closing track, What's Her Name, is about how he's burning all the photographs and he's just moving on. You know, he'll remember the time, but he won't remember the person. It's a really, really beautiful song, one of the best songs on the album. Billy Joel's vocals are amazing, the guitar work is fantastic, but it's the lyrics that make it for me, you know. Did she marry a what's-her-face? So he's moving on from his past girlfriend that hurt him so much. And, you know, he's wondering how her life is now and whether he'll ever actually see her again. You know, he sees her in his dreams, but she's gone. He's moving on. St. Jimmy's moving on to a different person and a different place. And it's such a great way to close such a fantastic album. You know, the whole album storyline is superb. There was even a Broadway play. It was such a good album that they made a Broadway play. Now, I've seen parts of the Broadway play. It's not that great. This is a punk rock masterpiece of an album. It's not a Broadway play. Anyway, amazing song. At number 4 on the album, we have Joy Division's I Remember... I did it again. On the list, number 4 on the list, we have Joy Division's I Remember Nothing from their Unknown Pleasures album. It's so harrowing and frightening and unsettling of a song. I love the production. It sounds so empty and barren, as does the rest of the album. And I love the smashed glass sound effects throughout it. And Ian Curtis's frantic screaming vocals, you know, his really high-pitched bit he does. It's just stunning. And such a fantastic way to close your album. It really adds something special. And again, I couldn't imagine this song anywhere else on the album. It's a perfect closing track, and it's just fantastic. Everything about the song, I adore it. Now, number 3 on the list is a song about everything, and I kid you not, it is a song about everything. It is Pink Floyd's Eclipse from Dark Side of the Moon. Now, originally, Dark Side of the Moon was going to be called Eclipse, but another band released an album called Eclipse They beat Pink Floyd to the punch. So Pink Floyd needed a new name. But Eclipse, also Eclipse it's only like a minute and, I think it's about a minute and 50 seconds long. And is usually compiled together with Brain Damage, because Brain Damage, the song before, is what leads into it and is a much longer song. But since Eclipse is its own standalone song, that's what counts. Now for me, it's the lyrics, and you would have to listen to Dark Side of the Moon to understand this, but it's such a good climax. And when they're singing, all that you love and all that you feel and all that you touch, I can't actually remember the actual lyrics, but it's always all that you and then something, and it's all on the dark side of the moon. I love that. And then when the song ends, you've got that ticking, which is the same ticking on the start of the album. And apparently, now this is, I've heard a few people say this, when the album's finished and you just hear that ticking at the end, you can apparently hear the Beatles' Ticket to Ride, just very, very slightly, because apparently, again, someone in the other studio was playing it really loud and the microphone picked it up. Now, I have tried again and again and again to listen and try and hear that, but I have never heard it myself. If you have, I'd love to know, because I can't hear it. And then, of course, you've got the guy who says, well, actually, there isn't a dark side of the moon. Or something like that. It's just so good. Amazing. Now, number 2, my second favourite closing track to an album is Prince with Purple Rain. Purple Rain, Purple Rain. Again, you need to listen to the whole album, I think. But it's so good. I love the heavy pounding drums that sound so massive and orchestral in the mix. I love Prince's lyrics, and his vocals are superb. And the guitar, for me, my favourite bit is the guitar solo, where Prince just goes all out, and it is just fantastic. It is ear orgasmic, like just ear orgasm. It's just superb, and it's so grandeur and big, and it just completes you, and you feel like once you've finished the album, you feel whole. You know, it doesn't leave you wanting more. It's perfect, and the perfect closing track to an album. Now, number 1 is my favourite band, Oasis, with, in my mind, the greatest closing track to an album ever, and with Champagne Supernova. Oh, it's so good. So, I mean, What's the Story, Morning Glory is one of the greatest albums of all time. And when that album came out, 1 in 5 people in the UK own that album. And the tour, the concert that followed that album, is the biggest outdoor British concert ever. To this day, nobody has beaten Oasis. A quarter of the country applied for tickets. You know, this album, What's the Story, Morning Glory, defined the generation in the UK. If you were alive in the 90s, and you like that kind of music, obviously, you had that album. It was seminal to the British culture, the British Britpop, as well as songs like Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger and Roll With It. All amazing songs, but Champagne Supernova is just the climax, the pinnacle of that. I love the washy, wavy sound effects, and Liam Gallagher's vocals are stunning, and the guitar. I love the way the song builds up and up and up, and then calms down again, and then builds up and up for a second climax, and then it just fades out with the synths at the end. It's stunning, and such a fantastic closer to an amazing album. I adore it. So just to recap, at number 5, What's Her Name, Green Day. At number 4, Joy Division's I Remember Nothing. At number 3, Pink Floyd's Eclipse. At number 2, we have Prince with Purple Rain. And at number 1, Oasis with Champagne Supernova. Now, just like an honourable mentions is the Beatles' A Day in a Life. It didn't make it on the list. But if this was a top 10, it would be number 6. It's like that. The reason why it's not a top 10 is because those videos usually go for about 20 minutes long. But yeah, that's another amazing one. But Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think and if you have your own list, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone.